What's up, family? I'm the guy that showcase and promote African-American businesses operating here in the greater Phoenix area. Please help me further support these amazing entrepreneurs by not only supporting my YouTube channel or following me on Facebook, but also stop by their businesses and give them a little economic support. My name is Shaka Shabazz, and this is African-American-Made.
So with the LLCs, whatever in general, if you're, say, what's known as a sole member LLC, you are the owner, you're the business, you're the only person in it, you're a sole member LLC, you're considered, or say, treated as, say, self-employed.
So that could be a photographer or a videographer,
Right.
A person who provides a service but they don't have employees.
Correct.
A tax preparer or
Right.
something like that. Okay.
Right.
All right.
So now transitioning from, say, a self-employed person to a partnership, or say an LLC that has partners. So for example, you and I, we start a business, we're going to be what's known as a partnership, and we're going to do it under an LLC, or we'll file a 1065 partnership return. We cannot be on payroll as employees. However, we can hire employees.
Okay.
So you and I, we will still be subject to self-employment tax and all of that, but we can get employees that we pay a regular salary, say, i.e. a administrative person, or people of that nature, where we pay them a salary and all that, and they are, say, going to be our employees, but we don't qualify.
Right.
As an S Corp, just to continue, as an S Corp, now in addition to being the business owners, we can put ourselves on payroll. So now we're the employees with additional employees if we, choose to have that, or we can have independent contractors that work for us, meaning we're the only employees of the corporation or of our business, and independent contractors / self-employed people are still going to receive 1099s from us, and they handle, they're responsible for their own taxes and all of that.
So at that point, you're not considered, as the owner, you're not considered a self-employed person. You're considered an employed person under your company, under your corporation.
So as an S
Corp,
you're going to wear multiple hats. So you're going to be the business owner, but you're also the employee, which is kind of the best of both worlds in that regard, because you as the owner can treat you as the employee as good as you want to treat your employee, just as some businesses do. Some businesses have the best insurances, the best, say, expense, where they'll give you credits, say, for mileage, they give you credits for meals and things like that. Other other employers may give you very minimal. They may give you none of that, meaning you're responsible for your own mileage, you're responsible for your own lunches when you take a client out to, say, go to lunch with them and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. So now you're the employer. How good are you going to treat you, the employee? How good are you going to treat yourself? Mm-hmm. Because technically you're treating yourself, which is a deduction to your corporation.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So you help people put all this together in terms of what direction they want to go based on what type of business they have and where they see their business going and what have you, from a tax perspective.
Right.
Do you advise people to do LLC or S Corp versus obviously under the table? I know you don't too much care for that.
Right.
Or does it make sense at times just to be a self-employed 1099 person?
So normally we suggest to people that they become S corporations, and again, reason being is for one of the bigger things is just from the payroll perspective alone. When and if you want to qualify for, say, items and all of that, you have a W-2 versus, say, a 1099, so you're going to be received better by the banks and all of that to what you're going to qualify for. The LLC component is more popular now, but it's probably not necessarily the best way to go or whatever. And there's no, say, right or wrong, but in general, depending on what you're trying to do, the LLC is not going to fare as good as the S Corp, in our opinion. The S Corp is generally going to be better.
Okay.
And the other side of that is that a lot of misconceptions about LLCs, people have this perception that in the event that I'm providing you a service, let's say I'm a barber and I'm an LLC, and if I'm giving you a haircut, and let's say you're a model, and let's say I mess up your hair and you get an attorney, and the attorney decides that we've damaged your hair to the extent to where they want to, file a suit. Mm-hmm. The perception is that you can only sue my business and not come after me personally. And that's a misconception about LLCs.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
'Cause that's what I was told as well.
Right. Well, there's this thing called piercing the corporate veil, where attorneys will come after you personally should your business not have enough funds to cover the amount of the awarded or the settled suit.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I'm not an attorney. However, I can tell you that this happens, and unfortunately, when it happens, it's the most inopportune time, because you find this out when you're being sued. And you say, well, wait a minute, you can't take this because you're going after that. And a lot of times, out as it sounds, a lot of businesses do not have liability insurance, any type of insurance for their business. So even if you had insurance or whatever, that would help. But let's say we're going to sue you for, say, $100,000, and your business is only worth 70. Well, now the attorney is going to, quote unquote, pierce that corporate veil, or attempt to pierce that corporate veil, and come after you for that additional $30,000.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be, that would be personal. And again, the suits, attorneys, we're going to raise the suit as high as they can. We're paying $1 million for spilled hot coffee. So again, a haircut, as far-fetched as that may sound, but if it can be presented in a way to where I've ruined your life because of this damaged haircut, now you want $2 million, and my business is worth $100,000. Well, where's this $1.9 million gonna come from?
I could definitely see that in a situation where someone got a perm.
Well,
The
again,
scalp got damaged or something. Yeah, that's scary. Yeah.
it depends.
yeah.
Again, once it's, depending on how it's worded and prepared and
Well,
put
of course,
together,
yeah.
the same with the person, again, with the whole coffee suit or whatever, and all of that. Someone was sued for millions of dollars for getting coffee spilled.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So, depending on the attorneys, or depending on the
How
dynamics,
aggressive they are. And
exactly. It can turn into this big, high dollar thing or whatever. And if you're a perception, or if you're thinking, well, nope, you can't get me, I'm covered by the LLC, and you can only take my business away, and you find out that that's not the case, that's probably not the time you want to find that information out.
Yeah, because a lot of our businesses, I'm talking about small businesses or self-employed, small businesses, LLCs, sometimes they're starting off hand to mouth.
Right.
Every day is a financial,
Right.
situation. So they forego things like we'll forego things
Right.
like getting that insurance, or paying for extra protections in case these things happen, something
Right.
like that happen. Yeah, so you find yourself in trouble.
Or we just don't know. We don't know. We because again, until you have that experience, or you don't know of someone that was sued because of a haircut, as the example we're using, you don't know, and you don't know that the person was sued and they didn't have insurance, and they thought they were protected with this LLC and all of that, and you're not, so you're not insulated in that regard. And you find out the hard way that, well, now they're taking my house, or I had to sell my car to pay off this suit, or whatever the case may be, and I didn't know. And it's just unfortunate when we, find these things out at, a point where we were just about to turn a corner, everything was going well, and we had this hiccup in the road, and now we got to regroup and all of that, because we got to cover the cost of this suit that we thought we couldn't get because we were insulated or protected as an LLC, and that's not the case.
I want to talk a little bit about your coaching practice. Okay. What type of clients do you take in that regard, and what are some of the things you try to help them along with in your coaching?
Okay. So with coaching, number one, we want to tell you what you're embarking on. And again, we want to give you, like I said, we want to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Yes, your business may work. However, your business may not work. Yes, your business may be easy. However, it may not be easy, especially if you're dealing with this wonderful thing called people. Because we can be fickle, we can be unloyal, we can be non-committal. And if we're all of these things or whatever, just going into the door and no one ever told you, most times we don't get the rejection factor of it. We always get how this works. Every infomercial tells you, you got all these reality shows or whatever, and in 60 minutes we flip a house, we found mold, we got it fixed, it worked, everybody's hugging, and I love the place.
Right.
That ain't reality.
It's not.
But that's what we see every day. So that's the perception that we have. And the same with business. I went in there, I talked to you, and you said, yes, I want you your service you provide, I'll pay you on time and pay you the amount you want, and it works. It ain't reality.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that you know that you got to have some thick skin to understand that what you're about to embark on, whatever it may be, is probably going to be challenging. And again, a lot of times it's a numbers thing as well. So we want to make sure you know what you're getting into. But then we also want you to know that as you embark on this endeavor, whatever, and you commit to this, you got to be committed to it. But you need to have the proper insurances. You have to have the proper money set aside for when and if this doesn't work, or when you don't get paid, because you're no longer getting paid. You're no longer going to be paid unless your services are being rendered.
And you could be waiting for that check.
You could be waiting for
done
that
work.
Exactly.
And waiting for a check.
Well, believe it or not, a lot of us in the self-employed realm are afraid to ask for our checks. Either we in turn are not, we almost ask as if we say, well, I charge X amount of dollars, and we say it with a hint of fear, like I shouldn't be charging that, or I don't know if they're going to pay it. And we're already ready to negotiate like we're a car dealership before we've even gotten to the, right after we get to the table. We're already saying, well, I normally charge, say, $350, but because it's you, I'm going to charge.
Because you want that business.
Yeah,
you want that business, and you don't want to, you don't want to loot. You don't want them to walk out the door without sealing the deal.
Exactly. Yeah. But again, back to the whole car dealership mentality where, hey, we'll sell it to you for $35,000. Whoa, but let me talk to my manager. Okay, we'll sell it to you for $30,000. Well, we say car dealerships, but I never notice or never see Bentley, Maserati doing that.
Right.
So are you going to be the lower end, car salesman or whatever? Are you going to be the top end? This is what I charge. So once you've established that, because you're not a car dealership, this is what I charge. Yes, some people are not going to be willing to pay that, and that's fine. Why would you start with that person? Because if you start off, as we say, ankle biting, if you start off ankle biting, how long before you say, I don't want to keep kissing or biting ankles?
Yeah. Because
you've told this person how to treat you now. Yeah, we've all been there. However, the best benefit to that is to not alter your pricing, or to not change your numbers or whatever in light of business. If you are overcharging, well, okay, yeah, bring your prices down. But in general, your price is your price, and if the person just doesn't want to pay that, that's okay. There's someone out there that is more than willing to pay and accommodate for that price that you've established. So we want to make sure that they are aware of all of those different dynamics and all of that. And again, as you're making money, to put money aside for your business. Put money aside for when and if you don't have business for the following month, or if you have a type of service that you provide where you have a peak and an off peak. I mean, Christmas is kind of slow for a lot of different businesses and all that. So when you're making money in the summer, the June, July, to August, maybe you should put that money aside, because Thanksgiving to Christmas is coming, and you're not gonna make any money.
Yeah, but I've been W-2 for a long time. It's the first time I've seen this money. This money got a name on it.
Absolutely. And that's where, again, the discipline, and we want you to be disciplined, right. And we want to at least tell you it's gonna be up to you to
right, of course. Yeah.
To get something that you've never gotten, you got to do something that you've never done. And in most cases, that's as simple as just being disciplined.
So at what point in your practice did you decide to incorporate the coaching part? Was it because of the many things that you've seen throughout your business? At what point did you thought this would be a valuable tool, an asset to your business?
So the coaching part, believe it or not, or the BYOB, the Be Your Own Boss, in general, it came up because one of my clients actually came in, and over time, you establish relationships with, hey, how you doing? How are the kids and all of that? And now his kids are quote unquote grown. Well, two of them had just gone to Vegas, and he was he was down. And he said, man, they went to this seminar in Vegas, paid $2,500 a piece, and went to a seminar to, I think it was flip houses or whatever, but in a nutshell, came back, and to this day, they still have never flipped a house. But then also they came back and said, hey, Dad, by the way, because we spent this $2,500 on this seminar, we don't have car payments and rent money now. Can you help me? So just to go out there and do it, and what I would call a rah-rah type of a thing, or a cheerleading type of an event, because in most cases when you go to those events, There's 300 people in the room, okay? They'll parade the 10 people up there who were successful. There's 290 in the audience that didn't make a dime and quite frankly lost money. Now we should celebrate the 10 that made it, but isn't the sample or the bigger size, so the one we need to address are the 290 sitting out there that didn't make a dime?
Yes. But they're not highlighted. And
No,
you don't
because,
know that they didn't make
no,
it.
because we're rallying, we're cheerleading,
Yeah.
and then what we say is, you too can get on the stage with this person.
Yeah.
And you know, that's possible, but you're not telling me how I can get there.
I always thought I've never bit the apple on that stuff because I'm just personally I'm a very skeptical person by nature. But I always see it as the people that are up there, they've made their money by selling you this dream, not by doing the actual thing that they're selling.
Right.
You know, and I'm sure that's not the case in all cases, but that's just how I view that stuff. Like, you know, you see the guy roll in with the Maserati, and he's got the beautiful family and in front of the big house. Yeah. Because he sold the courses and he sold the idea, not because he sold one house. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he got successful early on and sold a few houses and said, whatever. So that's kind of my take on that and why I've never really, and maybe I've missed an opportunity or two because of that, but that's just my view on those type of models.
Right. Well, possibly, maybe you did miss an opportunity. I mean, you know, who's to say? However, when you see this just on a regular day-to-day basis, and now in this generation where every, say, time you turn on social media, every time you see something, there's another get rich quicker, this person made this, and you constantly see it, and now some of your friends have tried it, or they always know someone, they don't know them personally, but they know or they've heard of that one person that made the gazillion dollars doing whatever that situation was. So you finally say, you know what, I'm gonna try it. Or as you just said, well, maybe I missed some things, I'm gonna try it this time. And you go out there on good faith and you try it. And the bigger picture is, it doesn't work because of you, it works because of what they didn't tell you. They didn't tell you what was required to make it work. And because they didn't tell you that, you went in thinking you're going to get on that stage next, because all they said more than anything was, you too can get on that stage. I want to see you on that stage next. And you're like, yeah, I want to get up there. And again, we're it's like it's a pep rally. You know,
I would always think that, why would they, you know, I mean, of course there are some very generous people out there in the world, but if I have a business model that is working, right? I figured out the formula to, for example, buy a bunch of houses, right? And then and rent them all or whatever, or sell them all or dump them or whatever. And I'm making money hand over fist doing this. Why am I going to create competitors?
Well, so true. In general, and I can't speak for everybody, in general, no matter how many houses you sell, you can look at it from you're creating competitors, but you're not going to sell every house. I'm not going to prepare every tax return, so I have no problem teaching the next guy how to prepare tax, because I don't even know all the people that you know. I don't know all the people, you know, there's going to be enough. So
there's not enough. There's not enough of you to do that. I get that part, but my point in the sense of these scammers that are, you know, selling this stuff that they're really not selling. You know? Well,
again, even, and not the scammers, but in the defense of the guy that's selling this product, he's figured it out and he's flipping houses and doing well. If he can get a portion of what you're doing, if I can get 20% of 10 of your guys, or say 20% of 10 guys, 10 additional people, plus what I'm doing, I'm going to still do okay. And I'm, you know, getting a piece of your pie again with the audience or with the market that you're in. So you're flipping houses, say, in Arizona, I'm flipping houses in Nevada.
I get that.
And
that makes sense.
You know, because now again, we're social. Back in the day, without social media, you could reach, say, again, me being from Detroit, I could reach my neighborhood. I could reach a part of Detroit. Well, now I can reach globally. So I can reach, you know, Dubai.
But I remember in the 70s, seeing those late night infomercials about flipping houses. They were very, very primitive back then compared to the fancy stuff they do now. But I mean, this is not a new thing. Social media or the internet has allowed people to, you know, do it at a more abundantly.
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
Quicker. Reach more people.
You're reaching more people. You know.
So you got tens of thousands of people getting ripped off versus.
Well, yeah. Or think of it from this perspective, and this is so. For example, and a lot of people don't know this, but Baskin Robbins was one of the first American, say, dessert chains in China. And when you ask them why, they said, well, we looked at the numbers. Because again, the marketplace, if you got 1 billion people, if I get a 1% market share, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Because it's 1 billion people.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So yeah, and they tweak their flavors because obviously, what we may like over here is going to be different than what they like in Asia,
taste.
and so they made it culturally, but the success is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because again of the market, just again that market share.
Okay.
If I can get 10% of 100, okay, well I got 10 people. I can get 10% of 100,000. I got 1,000 people.
Absolutely.
So again, the bigger that market, so again with social media, because we have so many more people now that you can reach just with an infomercial, whatever the case may be, your likelihood of being successful, quite frankly, in those realms are successful. I'll say this, and I won't go too deep into it, but I was telling the guy, I said, you know what, we can tell people how to become rich, literally on social media, without ever having a successful product to offer.
A lot of people are doing that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, think about this.
I think the issue with some of that is that people are just purposely giving bad, wrong, erroneous information that are getting people locked up and getting people in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
That's the part that I was trying to, and that's what I'm harping on that part.
Right.
But I know that there are people like yourself with London Bridge Group that really want to see people succeed.
Right.
And really give them information that's going to set them up for success.
Yes.
So, and I know there are people out there like that online too.
Sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we are skeptical in general, and quite frankly, in some instances by nature. Everyone is not, say, scamming or whatever. However, it's up to us to discern who's scamming, who's misinformed, because that's just as bad as scamming. You're telling me something that you heard that's incorrect, that I'm now telling the next person I heard is incorrect, and ultimately the person who's buying it or losing, we lose, and okay, yeah, I lost a couple $100 and maybe I can't go bowling next week or whatever, but the person that did it after me, they went all in and now they lost rent.
Yes.
So now they're homeless or situations
or
like that.
retirement.
Or they lost retirement.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There are people, there are stories out there that I've seen, just coming through these doors where people have spent a ton of money, and you hit on retirement. My base is getting older, so a lot of them are retiring. A lot of them have dipped into retirement to, quote unquote, get into a flip house mindset or whatever, and have lost tons of money on something that they really didn't have to spend money on. Because really, when it comes to flipping houses, it's not. I don't think it's something that you should buy a course on, quite frankly. I think you should study it, but I don't think you should buy a course on it, because you need to look at what type of house am I going to flip and what are the dynamics of getting it prepared to flip. And again, when you look at the television shows, when everything works right, and again in 60 minutes it all works.
Yeah.
You are misled into believing that that's the reality. And
they
it
bought
is,
a house for $50,000 and they sold it for $200,000, and they came away with $50,000 profit. And
everybody's happy. Everything worked. All the contractors showed up on time. Contractors themselves in general, that's a hard nugget, because a lot of them don't even show up.
Yeah, speaking to that, not to get too far, of course, from the London Bridge Group.
Sure.
Interviewed several people who, had to, remodel a building, a space rather, for their business, and have gotten ripped off. At least 3 or 4 that I've talked to, of people that I've interviewed, that have had that experience, to your point.
Right.
Like, contractors just don't show up, or they do half work, or, they'll just take your money and don't come back.
Yeah.
I mean, people literally do that.
Right.
So to your point, talking about the stuff that they don't talk about when they're selling you these things, right? That you have to deal with. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That could be detrimental to a person's, future. You
I've
think you're trying to get ahead, and then you set yourself back.
No, absolutely. And again, like I say, you have to be mindful of those things, or as they say, the quote unquote, if it's too good to be true, it probably is, or the contractor is always going to be the lowest price. He's going to lowball. However, he wants 50% upfront cash, and we give it to him. Okay, well, good. And versus say, well, hey, if you're going to Home Depot because you need material, why don't we go to Home Depot, get the materials, let's bring it back here, and let's fix this project or whatever. But again, to tie it back, I guess, to say taxes and all of that, back to the whole dynamics and the logistics of, say, knowing what type of business you're going to embark on and knowing what to expect, what you need to have, and things of that nature. We try to employ or educate and let you know these are the things that you can do. And I'll say pass out this nugget, and for any, say, food person out there, or say food handler, or a person that cooks or whatever, one of the things that we've seen over the years,
a lot of food trucks out there.
Yeah, a lot of food trucks, or a lot of people, guys, girls, that want to start restaurants. Well, here's something to consider. One, if you're going to be a food handler, get you a food handler's card. And if you cook good food and this, that, and the other, why not, before you run out and spend all this money on a restaurant or a brick and mortar building, why don't you run to your local barbershop, beauty shop, even bank, and say, here's a free sample of my hamburger, my chicken, my fish. Just give it to them, okay? After they eat it, hey, we like this. Okay, good. So on Mondays, I provide hamburgers. On Wednesdays, I provide chicken. On Friday, I provide fish, okay? You pay up front. I will deliver it to you, because now you're providing a service. You're getting your money paid up front. But more importantly, the barbers and the beauticians, they don't get a lunch hour. Right. They're running and eating, just between haircuts and all of that. So if you provide this service and bring this to them, number one, you've been paid. You don't have the overhead of a restaurant that may have people come in, may not have people come in with staff and all of that. And you're getting your brand out there, because they're saying, hey, that food that Lavelle brought us, man, that burger, that was the best burger I had. That steak, that whatever, or your desserts and all of that. Yeah. And you now created that, and then you're doing it within the radius of where you live. Yes. So it's a lot easier to do that. And then after you grow all of that, if you do want to get a brick and mortar, now you've got the funds, you've got the experience, you have a client base that you can go out and get that, versus running out there and getting this big, huge restaurant, and you're paying for staff, and there's 4 people in there, and you're paying for 5 staff members every hour.
Sold 2 hamburgers that day.
It only sold 2 hamburgers, and the staff ate the other 3. And we're like, I wonder why we're losing money. We're bleeding, right? But I get the dream, I get the pie in the sky. But a lot of times, instead of say blinging, maybe we just need to start with a beep and grow the beep to become a bling.
Well, we definitely see a lot of images of people, everybody's winning and everybody's successful and everybody's living this beautiful life. And you could have it too. Why can't I? I'm no different than that guy that I see online. Right. And we kind of get into that thing. I could attest to that myself. Sure. You feel like you have certain abilities or certain personality, and you're looking at somebody that's successful, and then you kind of matching yourself up, which is totally wrong, right? It's a totally wrong way to go about it. But that's kind of the world we live in now. Sure. So in your coaching and the things that we've talked about so far, I could see where it would be of grave benefit for someone to come and talk to you before even stepping out into spending any money on equipment, or whatever, courses or what have you. They can come and talk to you and have a coaching session and really get a perspective of what they're trying to do and where they're trying to go, and you can help them along in that process.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And again, we try to get the word out, and unfortunately, a lot of times people, to your point, before they buy equipment or before they commit to these expensive things or whatever, they don't see the relevance, or they don't see the benefit in, say, paying a coach or paying a consultant. So to say, yeah, what about this? What about that? Before they commit to this $300 a month, say, subscription, or whatever the case, or a $1,500 a month lease, and they never ever even really start the business and all of that. So $1,500 a month is $18,000 a year. When, let's say, you paid $1,000 for your consultation, you saved $17,000. Like, because this is not gonna the route that you want to go as far as, say, doing that or whatever. Yeah. And we don't. we know the cost a lot of times. We rarely understand and know the value.
Yes.
And that's something that you know the cost, but do you know the value? Do you know what you were just informed about that has now saved you a ton of money for the little bit of money that you spent?
Right.
And we do not get those things.
I
or
think
whatever.
for some of, would you say some people feel like they don't see that because it's not a tangible thing?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's not tangible. So, although it could save them a lot of trouble, right?
Absolutely.
A lot of trouble.
Absolutely.
Buying that thing.
Yes.
In my case, buying that camera that I don't need. Right? The $10,000 camera.
Sure.
I didn't do that, but I'm just giving an example.
Sure.
The $10,000 camera, when a $200, for my level where I'm at, a
Right.
$200 camera would have sufficed. Talking to you could have saved me that money and helped me understand some things that I didn't see
Right.
beforehand, because my heart and my emotions are involved
Absolutely.
in doing this thing.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, emotions is the thing that's a lot of times driving that train, especially as we're into a new year. So now we have people that we're going to lose weight, going to buy a house, going to get married, we're going to start a business. And
ain't gonna pay no taxes.
emotionally, and you don't pay no taxes. Emotionally, we're ready. And even with the gyms, you'll see the gyms are full the entire month of January. Gyms are full. February, there's a taper off. March, instead of going, say, once a week, now we've cut it all the way back to once a month. April, we may go, we may not go. May, hey, I'm quitting that gym membership. That gym doesn't work.
Yeah.
Well, you're not working
I got
it.
no results.
Yeah, I got no results. Well, you're not working it. The gym works, but you didn't.
Right.
You worked in the January, but it kind of tapered off or whatever. And that's the same with, say, a business or whatever. I was really passionate about this. I was making all of my calls. If you're in a business where you have to call people or sending out information or sending out letters, whatever you're doing, I was chasing the business in January.
Yeah.
February, I didn't get a lot of calls back. So now I've kind of tapered off to where I was committing 8 hours a day, which, by the way, unemployed people, your job is to become employed or be self-employed. You spend your 8 hours doing that, target being self-employed.
That is your job.
Exactly. But anyway, going back to those people, they commit before limited time only.
Yeah.
Or like I say, we try to tell them, hey, look, if you have decided this is what you really truly want to do and this is what your passion is, that's great. Let's give you all the logical side of it and let the logic override the emotion, because simply put, the emotion cannot drive the train. It has to be logic. It has to be factual. And if we're not doing that, I'm emotionally charged. I said I'm going to do this, and now I've started the business. I'm out there. Well, that's great. You took the first step. So part of that step is to get a coach, get a consultant, get an advisor, someone who can help guide you down the road, or someone that can say, maybe you shouldn't even be going down this road.
And that's what we don't want to hear.
No.
That's the part. Which could save us.
Yeah.
That's what we don't want to hear.
Right.
We don't want you to discourage us from embarking on this ridiculous thing that you see from a numbers standpoint and from a practical standpoint. And you're looking at the person in front of you too, right?
Right.
Now maybe this may not. Now you can do what you want to do, but maybe this may not be the route to go or the thing to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the first things we ask, can you handle rejection? Like you just said, I don't want to hear you tell me no. I don't think this is the best thing for you. And we don't tell you no. We asked you, okay, based on what we've discussed, do you think this is still going to work for you? We let you answer the question. But that being said, again, the bigger question, can you handle that rejection? Can you handle that disappointment? Can you handle that missed appointment? Because again, life happens and we're non-committal, or we like that you were going to sell us this product for $1,000, but someone else just said they're going to sell it to us for $999. So we changed because we're that fickle from time to time. So can you handle that rejection? Or can you when you've driven from, say, Glendale or from Avondale to Mesa and the person's not there? Or when you get there, I forgot you were coming. And
that's happened to me quite a few times.
So, can you handle all that? Because if you can't, then maybe we need to find something better. It's not that you're not going to be good at business.
Yeah.
This business may not work because, again, this is a business where we're rejecting versus online stuff where you're shooting out information or a service or offering a service to masses. It's not the same rejection because you sent it out to 1 million people.
Right.
Okay, 1% of that is 1,000. If we can get 1,000, that's not bad, depending on the product or service that you're providing. Yeah. So when we can do that, and when we understand that now I'm not getting that facial, no, or I'm not driving a Mason, he's not here. oh, I forgot you were coming, or whatever. I didn't get the chance to stop at the bank, so I don't have your money.
Yeah.
All of those different things. If you, again, we're startup businesses. I spent my last gas card, to get to Mesa, and I gotta charge it to come back.
Yeah.
So all of that being said, each and every one of those things or whatever impacts, how I'm gonna operate this, business or whatever, or whether I'm going to quit.
Right.
And then when you take it to the step of younger kids, we in turn have the social media presence where we put everything on whatever platform, so Facebook or Instagram and all those other things. So now we're saying, hey, I'm gonna go out and be a consultant. And you tell everybody you're quitting your job and all of that. Then it doesn't work, and in 2 months, because now you're embarrassed because you told your 1,300 friends
Yes.
that you were gonna do that. Now you're not doing. They see you working back at Circle K or whatever. Well, you quit because you didn't think it worked. And that same streak that success is on, most of the time we just hit that failure or that roadblock first. But success is back there. We just didn't go far enough to get it.
Right. We didn't hang in there.
Yeah. We didn't. And we no one told us how to do it. No one told us how to, quote unquote, to get there.
Yeah.
So we just kept running into roadblock. We just kept running into failure, and we thought that was all that was on this street.
Which
roadblock
ties
and
back
failure.
into what you were saying earlier about the Vegas thing, right?
Exactly.
They give you this presentation, but they don't tell you
No.
the meat and potato, what you
No.
need to do that.
Yeah.
To give you the roadmap.
Yeah, and they want you to go talk to the guy, and a lot of times the guy and the girl, their real, true, honest answer is probably commitment and luck. In all honesty, I just hit the right person at the right time, and it worked for me, and I got that or whatever.
Yes.
Because again, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
And then you talk about different cities, different markets.
Yeah.
Different situations and economic situations in every different place. Culture,
Right.
everything it plays into
Yes.
how well and how successful you are in doing these things, whether it's houses or
Right.
selling socks door to door, whatever.
Right.
So I totally understand that.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think that you could, with London Bridge Group, with so many things that you do. I initially were having an engagement with you regarding tax preparation, but you do so much more than that. You're so much more than that, which is very, very important. Where do you see, and I know you've been in business for quite a few years now, but where do you see your company going from here in the next 3 to 5 years?
So our intent is to grow more on the coaching and advising side of, say, the accounting / tax realm is what our intention is. Because again, we don't want to just be your prepare for or see you once a year. Because again, you got a whole lot of things going on in that 12 months period that you should have, again, an advisor or an accountant or a consultant or a coach to assist you with. And that's what our main target is. We're really want to be helpful and supportive and make sure that we have you on the right track for the entire year and not just January through April.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, I definitely, in the conversation that we had so far, can think of many different instances where you would have been a benefit to sit down and talk with before I made certain decisions.
Sure.
So hopefully that's something that, I can benefit from in the future.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. Won't you tell us where we can find you? Well, before I do that, what would you like people to know about you as a person?
Me as a person? Wow. I've always been, I guess, someone that wants to help other people. And I think that's one of the things that will always come out. You'll always, if you don't say anything else, you'll never see me as he's just chasing money, or he's just, he's that dollar sign guy. He wants to help. He's truly vested, into seeing your success or helping you become a success story and all of that. So I would definitely want people to always know that, we don't work for free by no means. And, there's definitely value to all that we provide as far as information, insight, and the different routes that we set you up as far as your business. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. And I will give it to you straight. It may not be the answer that you wanted to hear, but it will be the correct / the truthful answer. And we need more of that versus the, cheerleader. No, it's okay, you can do that. And when I know that you probably really can't do that.
That's really needed. Where can we find you?
So we're located 8751 North 51st Avenue. We're in suite number 109, and it's Glendale, Arizona, zip code 85302, and phone number 623-444-8475. And again, that's London Bridge Group. You can go to our website, londonbridgegroup.net, and we look forward to speaking with you and, answering some questions for you.
Great, man. Well, it has been an honor and a pleasure talking to you today. I'm glad I finally got a chance to meet you.
Pleasure.
And I think what you're doing here, it's very valuable in that you're not just concerned about doing somebody's taxes and getting them out the door. You really want to see them succeed in many different aspects of their life, and I really think I value that. Thank you so much for that.
Hey, thank you for the interview. I appreciate it.